This podcast is sponsored by Darling Hardware. Activate your alter ego with Darling Hardware and start seeing life through a different set of lenses. Shop darlinghardware.com. Tell them Demetrius Lee and Angela Lee in the Lee Life Experience Podcast sent you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to a new episode of the Lee Life Experience Podcast. You have Angela and Demetrius here, and we are your hosts for this evening. Again, we want to tell you thank you so much for riding with us. And I know you say, Andrew, you always tell us that. Yeah, because we have new people, and I've been going places as I have went and to different places. Somebody always knew would tell me, hey, Angie, how my friend doing? And I was like, who is your friend? And I'm bamboozled. And they said, your husband is a straight shooter. That's what we love about Andrew. If more people was just like him. And I was like, wait a minute. What about your girl? What about your girl? They was like, Angie, you know what? We love you, but we love him. We love somebody to kind of give it to us raw, uncut, without the filter. Because Demetrius is saying what some of you all are thinking. And you know what? I have to be a little more gentle with my words and my personality. So Demetrius, so first off, so those of you, if you choose to continue rocking with us, don't forget, if you want to get your topics heard, don't forget to go 833-370-1608 and put relationship without the S in the message box, and that way you'll get on our list. You'll be able to know when we drop on the episode, knowing what kind of updates are we doing a tour. Yes, we do have some tours. We in talks of the tour. We don't have a direct date yet, but it is in works. And of course, our very first one will be in Atlanta, Georgia. So you all, please be on the lookout for that. If you are in Georgia or surrounding towns, please come fellowship with us. Let us know that, hey, the Lee Life Experience podcast have really impacted my life. Hey, good, bad, and the ugly. Demetrius, how you doing today?
I'm doing just lovely, honey bunch.
Yes, sir. And you got that's it? You
Oh
quiet?
no! Hey, you flowing so good, baby. I didn't want to stop you.
I
You
know.
flow, yeah. I like when you flow like that. I
No,
know
well, you know what? Go
I'm gonna have my
ahead.
time to shine. I'm gonna have my time to shine. Do your thing.
Well, Demetrius, I feel real good and rejuvenated. I just came off of my spiritual retreat. Shout out to my spiritual leader, Elder Cynthia Roseman out of Greenwood, South Carolina. She put on these annual retreats every year, and it was almost 40 women there from different walks of life coming in search of reconnecting back with God. It is a shut-in. It is a lockup. You get there on Friday. You have limited, when I'm saying limited access to your phone, for emergencies you can, but some activities that you don't, especially when the spirit is high, they don't want any phone, so you can't be capturing no pictures because they need you focused on the word. They don't want you to hinder somebody else's breakthrough because you don't know what your other sisters there. All women, and being able to get there. So service started at 9, and so Demetrius, a limited amount of snacks. So your food is included. So you come in on Friday, you leave out on Tuesday. I'm talking about replenish, talking, singing, crying, laughing, dancing. Some of the ladies played Uno. But we really did have a wonderful time and a chance to grow your sisterhood with new women that you
Hey,
don't know.
can I add something to it?
Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, man, I'm telling you, my wife talking about the retreat. I'm telling you, man, you hear her say it called a retreat, and I like that. She go up there, she go every year. When she come back from the retreat, I get a lot of treats.
Oh,
So,
my
fella,
God.
so, hey, fella, you got a wife want to go,
Demetrius,
let her go up
keep
there,
this
man.
clean. Keep this
I'm
clean.
keeping it clean. I'm
Yeah.
just telling
So, okay, back to my message, you all, because I know a lot of people, they do wonder what goes on a spiritual retreat, because some people, they go and some get disappointed. But I do highly recommend that if that is something that you're interested in, you could just inbox me or put it on the comment. I would love for you to get in touch with her, because again, once she opened those seats up for 2025, I'm telling you, that $100 of non-refundable deposit, if you don't get that seat, these seats will get gone quick. So again, if that's not something that you do, or you in works of getting your own, I highly suggest every woman to go be around other women. Cause again, Demetrius, it is often said that women cannot be friends with other women, that we cannot get along. And I beg to differ because depending on, everybody gonna have their own like opinions, and some people gonna gravitate to other people, and I'm okay with that. But when you come there, you put on relaxed clothes. So some ladies wore pajamas, some ladies, wear their leggings, some ladies had shorts on. So you know what? It's no judgment. You come as you are, so you can be able to connect with God. So again, Demetrius, and one thing, ladies, Elder Cynthia and the rest of the team. Let me not forget Sherry, Lolita, and Emily. They and the kitchen committee. They do a wonderful job on reconnecting you. Those ladies, all those four ladies are married. And Demetrius, even though I was teasing off what you added, it does give you, they shine light on marriage, and she's being able to
Yeah.
walk to how you talking to your mate. So I feel like that's the reason why you enjoy me going, because she do make you look in the mirror, and even when I want to say, she make you own your stuff. That's what I love about her. That I'm not gonna say love, because it is, everybody get defensive because you want to think you operate in the correct way. But when she has that one-on-one to you, she able to call you out and say, well, Angie, you keep talking about Demetrius, what about you? What about you? What are you giving him to work with? And this was the powerful thing she told me in 2022. I was notorious, Demetrius, for telling you I'm independent. And I was notorious for saying, I don't need you, right? And I'm saying this for some women, the independent women, the six-figure woman, the woman who feel like I got all this in a bag of chips, I got everything. And when a man comes and we've been praying and preparing, and we've been that Ruth out there in the yard, I beg you, and this is what Elder had me to do. Being able to look at yourself and make yourself a contract. Being able to say, you know what, I'm not the world's. This is what she said. Open my eyes up. She said, Andrew, your husband is already having to face the stigma of being a black man. When he go home, he having to run the stigma of being that black man running the home and leadership. Why would you send him back out the door uncovered for him to face that by himself? He getting beat up in the world, and when he go home in his safe haven, you beating him up more. You all, that made me open my eyes up, and I began to say, you know what, I have to do better. I have to do better. So sometimes I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I am gonna say I'm work in progress, and I began to ask things because it was easier for me to say, Demetrius don't call and ask me how I'm doing. Demetrius don't do it. And she said, well, have you initiated? Did you tell him that was one of your love languages? Is that important to you? And because she was talking and saying some of those things, all of us got room for improvement. So I say all that to say, I highly suggest women be able to get around other healthy relationships, so you will be able to know what healthy relationships are. Because Demetrius and I, the first marriage, we didn't know anything. Demetrius, did you have any mental people that that you had a picture of that had a healthy relationship? Do you know anybody other than your parents?
I know, man, from my job, when I got my job, that older man, they did, and they were trying to
Okay,
advise me, how to do right with a marriage. When I'm about to get married, one thing he told me, you marry the right woman. He
ain't
said, it's
nothing
nothing
like
like it. You marry the wrong woman,
ain't
and nothing
nothing
like
like
it.
it.
So, yeah, I had people around me talk to me like that. So I had some grown men, like I was like 25 at the time. These men, didn't, my age, they were 50 something. So, yeah, I had to try to push me the right way, but he kind of helped me relate to him because they're so older than I was. But
Yeah,
you look back now, I understand it now.
that's what I was just getting ready to ask you. Were you able to relate at that time? Because the reason why I feel like this is significant in our conversation is because it's a more younger Angie and Demetrius out there that was in their early 20s, like we were, that is in a marriage and they have stuff. But Demetrius, they searching for an answer, and they have people, but they already in discounted because they feel like that person too old, that person might not be the right race. and they're not quite ready to change. So I want you to just kind of be able to, expound a little bit more on, how was able to kind of make the connections. You might then make it right away, but what your 53-year-old self would tell that 20, I think you were 27 at the time, what would you tell yourself now if you had the opportunity to tell the younger Demetrius
I would tell myself, most important thing, be patient.
for your marriage?
It's marriage, right? Everything ain't gonna go your way.
Yeah,
Everything shouldn't go your way.
yeah,
You gotta be compromised.
yeah,
Communicate with your wife.
yeah,
Listen to what she's saying, and hope she listens to what you're saying. Cause you get to talking to people. If men listen to a woman, 9 out of 10, you might be telling your problems to me, but I listen to you telling me your problem. You might be talking about something that ain't got nothing to do with what you thinking. I ain't catching on to it, but I'm catching on. You saying stuff about some relationship, I'm gonna pick up on it. Come listen to you. And same thing with a woman. A man talking about someone on his job, how people treat him on the job. And you probably saying, what they gotta do with my relationship? You listen to him, he trying to tell you something. If someone came out of a relationship, he comparing the job and the relationship together. He's coming
yeah,
from somewhere. Just
yeah.
listen to him. That's what I would do. How about you?
The younger Angie, I would tell her, number one, surround yourself with somebody that was in a healthy marriage, so you would know what that looked like.
That's good. That's
Coming
right.
coming from a single parent home, that's what I saw. So it's easier for me to give my son something that I have. When it comes to hanging around people, hang around somebody that was more spiritual rounded, that did have a successful marriage or pushing marriage in that direction. Like I told you, that once I got to talking to the older ladies on the job, and I had told them what I felt like I overheard you talking on the telephone with another female. Once they said, "Oh, you better sow your royal oats," Demetri, that gave me the jumper cables. I felt like that was my permission slip, and with no guidance, I just opened the door, and that's how infidelity came in. Not saying that it made the choice for me. I'm just saying that from that advice, that is what I took away from it.
It's what you say. What you just say. Women told you. Now men were telling me, older man, stop it, man. Quit what you're doing. They've been there what I was doing. Say, stop what you're doing. Change your life. We get married. You don't want your name in the street drug to the mud like that. You see the difference?
Yeah,
One telling you what I get into them, be careful who you listen to.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah,
These men were
definitely.
talking to me to calm down. They're talking you to fire up and that's why I
Hmm.
married.
Yes,
One calmed down when he was rough. Another one picked up where one left off at.
did.
And what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I just want to stay on the retreat thing for a minute. Hey, I'm telling y'all, Jim, I'm being serious. My wife come back, she have a different perspective. Talk to me a little different. And she try to listen to me. And I like that. And I want to thank them and the girls, all of them. I appreciate them. The women who go, I appreciate them going, trying to save their marriage and make their marriage better. I appreciate that.
yeah. Not
I
everybody
would
on.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, not everybody on the retreat is married, but I feel like it's very influential to the young single girls that's they in relationships, because many of them are moms though. And I think we had like two of them like in their early 20s that's chasing after God, so they're not there yet, but of course they dating, got have little boyfriends or whatever, but that way they can see a model. And I feel like that's important that um, and I'm gonna put this in. When I was writing a book, the lady who was proofreading it for me, and as she was reading over my story, she asked me, she said, "Angie, did anybody tell you to keep your body to yourself? To hold yourself until you got married?" And when I looked at her, and that was like, I was like, had that deer trapped in headlights, and I'm like, no. Because I never had that. I heard about the good touch and the bad touch, Demetrius. I heard about protecting yourself in case a stranger touch you, but Demetrius, nobody never had that conversation on saving yourself for marriage. And I'm assuming even my mom, not that I'm blaming her, she didn't have that conversation with me, because I'm not thinking that she probably did it till she got married. I know that they had already conceived me And that's when my grandmother forced them to get married, had to get married because she got pregnant. So those kind of conversations wasn't had at my tabletop. So I hope to bring, break the narrative for races, to be able to look at that, some households that don't look like us, they have some different kind of conversation for their children, and it'll be another kind of conversation for African Americans. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. And young ladies, again, Women of Worth Global Network. That's on Facebook. It is a free Facebook group with everything in there, giving you praise and worship. Sermons that she's sharing. So if you really need to tap into your spiritual side and you've been disconnected, and I'm saying because I was just so embarrassed when she was asking. I was like, I used to know that. I used to know that. But it wasn't an easy memory call. I came and I went to Hobby Lobby and got me a board. I mean, some more supplies to do my. We did prayer boards, but did my tray for so I can really tap back into God and being able to have those scriptures on the tip of my tongue. So thank you so much. So Demetrius, where we going today? Did you have anything else to close that out of? Because that's all I was going to say about the retreat.
I just want to tell the men's one more time. Men's, I don't know the ones who from my hometown. Yeah, I know who y'all is. I'm from South Carolina, Abbeville,
Yeah.
Greenwood. You got wives talking about it. It ain't a bad thing, man. Don't look at it like a bunch of women going out of town corrupt. They're going out making themselves better.
Better, yeah.
They left and they come back a better woman.
Yeah.
And they gonna make you better.
Yes.
If she come back better, I ain't got no choice but to join in because I want to be better. I'm not trying to be this certain guy. I want to be that guy to make my wife happy. A happy wife, a happy life. That's what I
That's
want to do. So she come back happy,
right.
man. I'm gonna do the best to make her happy.
That's right.
So I
And
want to
let
add
me
to all the men. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't want to tell the men, let your wife go. Don't think nothing wrong with it. I'm telling you. You thank me later, man. Let her go.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback off of it. Demetrius have been reading the Bible from cover to cover. And what Demetrius, this you already did? Is this your second time?
No, well, I read the New Testament, but I read from the beginning, so it's my second time in the New Testament, but the first time on the Old Testament.
Okay.
So, so I'm
And
out, so be what I'm doing. I'm right now.
okay, so this is for those of you if you new in Christ or you maybe not new, but you need to kind of like tap back into the reservoir of Christ. I'm not by no means a minister, but certain things, you don't have to have um the white cloth on and to know that when you trying to plug back in, you need to plug with somebody a little stronger than you. Those ladies were stronger than me, and I seen my weakness, so I'm of course tapping back in. And like I told Demetrius, that he done read the Bible, but he also need to get, and we're getting him a man study Bible, a translation, so you can understand what it is you're reading. You can read every day, but if you're not comprehending, or you cannot give, if somebody come to Demetrius and having spiritual warfare and he's not able to quickly give them an instant replay of what he needed, what kind of sword to get that young man or woman on their journey, then guess what? He just lost, or not
Yeah,
lost,
that's
or
right.
being able to misguide. I want that when you reading and you spending this time, it should be some kind of light, and should have the word or choice was anchor was the word that we had. So being able to think about an anchor. So when you put in an anchor for the boat, you know it's to stay. So what are you using to anchor yourself in Christ, in your peace of mind, in your relationships? So I want to pass you all this word is anchor. So think about it. Look it up. The anchor you see in a boat, what are you using to anchor your peace, your relationship, and your spiritual life? And physical, because again, we got to get these health and wellness back top tier. All right. Ready to go
All
to
right, on a
break?
bunch. Let's take a break, and we get back. We get to the topic.
All right. Hi, we are back. So listen, we left off talking about the spiritual retreat with my spiritual advisor. Like I said, her name is Elder Cynthia Rosamond, coming out of Greenwood, South Carolina. So you all, when you are ready, let me say this because Demetrius and I was talking as we was talking over break. Some people don't feel like they need to be tapped in. They feel like they know everything. They don't want to be around other people. And I'm gonna tell you, I felt that way too. That every time the retreat year come, I was like, well, I don't need to come. Well, last year wasn't like that because I flew in from California. I wanted to be there that bad, and then I drove. I got a rental car and drove the rest of the way. So I'm gonna say my first year, which is 2022, and remember what I said about my mindset. Demetrius and I, we wasn't in a bad place, but we wasn't in a good place neither. We both was, a lot of arguing. And the reason why I'm calling out these pain points, because it's somebody that's listening to this podcast that is gonna come to us, and I know you will, because out of the blue, you all or y'all can recite. And Demetri, you done had it done too. You remember when we was in South Carolina? So many people recited word for word what you said.
That's
Word
right.
for word on different episodes. So we know you're listening. You might not be liking, you might not like, you might not share, you might not even follow, but
Well,
you're
tell them,
listening.
please like and share. I mean, help people. I mean, cause you helping us to reach people. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So help people to listen to it. Like and share the people, because you don't know who needs to hear this message. Because
Yes.
everybody are not tied up and never think nobody hear them. Let them know
Hmm.
somebody they're gonna been through what you've been through. So it's how just let them know. Reach out to people.
Yeah. And so because of that, we have to make sure that when we saying things, we our words is our opinion. And the disclaimer is Demetrius and I are not therapists. We're not ministers. We're not doctors. So whatever advice and stuff that we giving or offering is based off our own personal experience. And when you are writing in, it's off our own personal experience. So you calling in or you writing in or you texting in asking Angie, what would you or Demetrius do, and what would y'all say, or how would y'all handle it? Again, at the end of the day, like Gloria say, at the end of the day is gonna end, and you is stuck with that choice. You stuck with that choice. So, Demetrius, did you have anything to go before I share a little bit more? Because no, this is what the question was for you, Demetrius. They want to know, like, how were you okay with allowing me to go stay away for 4 days with women? And I know Elder Sent, so I don't expect you to, but I want you to act like you didn't know her. Act like you didn't know her. And for this man who's saying, hey, my wife is a little more in church than I am. She always praying. She always laying hands. She always getting that all out and got a prayer closet. And then every time you talk about, she talking about prayer. But the man or woman might not quite be there. So what is your advice to those men or women that might be trying to be, the not saying the devil, but I am gonna say the devil. Might be having their mate in a little bondage, keeping them from making, trying to create a rift between them and their partner in their prayer life.
First thing I would say, you gotta know your spouse,
Yeah, definitely.
and I'm gonna talk about you because I know you. You into the Bible, you know the Bible. I don't even think you know the back of your hand. You know it more than I know. You can recite stuff that I gotta go look for it. You just about know it. You might can't read the whole chapter, but you know enough where you at to talk about it. So you had a spouse or a husband, husband or a wife, and you know they're into it and they want to go to a retreat. I'm gonna support them. Now first thing you can say, who are these people? You say I don't know. Say I didn't know Elder Sent, but I know you. I know
Yeah.
you ain't going no bull job. It got to be stuff serious. I know how you feel about God, how you feel about church. So I know I won't have no problem with it. I know some men probably got a problem with that because
Hmm.
they don't look good to them. But I ain't got no security about my relationship.
That's
I
right.
know who I married. I know my wife, and I know what she about when it comes to that Bible. She pray. She'll pray while I watch her pray. Her and her partner pray for different people. Some of y'all listen to this podcast, she gonna pray for y'all. Y'all don't even know it. Pray for the good to come out of y'all relationship. Good for you to come out with your job. Good for you to come out just being a good man and a woman. I'm gonna start do it. I said, then listen to her do it. Her and her prayer partner. So I say all of that to say that that retreat is a good thing for women. And I know the one you went to. Now other people probably got one too. And yeah, I mean, but you know your wife. or you know your husband, and you got to trust them. You know they're gonna make the right decision. They say they're going somewhere. They really believe in it. Support them. That's what I say about that. Support them, and I support you on a bunch.
All right. No, well, I thank you for that because again, some people do face wrath and backlash for going, you know, to get poured into because they don't believe in it. They were like, oh, it don't take all that. You know, you're getting hands laid on, you're laying out in the floor, you're talking in tongue, you know, y'all doing too much, you know, it don't take. And for those people who sit in judgment, and let me just say this. Once the pandemic came, Demetrius, and shut the world down, and I was lost. When I was out there in California, I was staying in this white lady's house, and she had a cat. And but she didn't hardly stay there, so that's why she rented the room out. But she stayed majority of the time with her boyfriend. So when I emailed her like, "Hey, I'm working out of California. You know, I see you got a room for rent. Is it still available?" She was like, "Oh yes, you know, my family member is a nurse." So I'm thinking like that is a win-win because she already acclimated to the nursing world. Demetrius, don't you know that by the time I got finished, I remember coming home one day, and this here is when people was being mean to anybody with scrubs on. They were jumping on them, you know, mishandling them, you know.
Hold on, back up. And I didn't know that people been mean because you were scrubs.
Yeah, so you know because they right now you know the conspiracy was they thought nurses was doing it. So if we left out the house and we didn't have like regular street clothes to change into like immediately when we got off our jobs, a lot of them faced backlash for wearing scrubs, and they felt like if we was in the grocery store, they didn't want us in the grocery store, they didn't want us pumping gas. You know, they were just mean. You know, I'm talking about
Why?
just all over
I mean, what the
because
reason
they
was you
felt
heard?
like we were spreading the virus.
Oh, I didn't know.
So
And
that
trust me,
yes.
see, I never heard that.
So okay, well that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you
I
now.
believe you, but I'm glad you told me
So
that. I didn't know
when
that.
that happened, the young lady came home one day, and of course, you know, she was asking me how my day was, and this happened to be an off day, and she was talking, and I was like, yeah, I'm just thinking that I'm just talking, you know, I'm being, and as I was telling her about this homeless man that I had, and you know, with the homeless man, of course Demetrius, he don't have no way to do a follow up care. He homeless. He don't have a way to I'm getting discharge instructions, but logically how is this homeless man gonna be able to do what's on this discharge instructions? That's just by default that the doctor just type that in and whatever comes out, you just print it off and then the nurse just give it to him. But this here particular patient, not every patient nurses carry home, but some patients stick out a little bit, you know, stick with you a little bit more. So this homeless patient, I had to have him a couple of days, and so it was finally time for him to go home, and I was just super excited for him to go home, but he didn't have a home. But he ended up having a backlash, and when I'm saying not backlash, but he ended up getting having to come back in there because he was worried he didn't have anywhere to go. So he had just had, I think he had like pneumonia or something. But anyway, he came back, and when he came back, Demetrius he wasn't doing too well. This was on a telemetry floor, and I remember talking to her about it, and he was in this bubble. That's when they was putting all people with respiratory symptoms. They had them in a bubble, so we had to put them in a tent. So when you came in, you was out there in a tent before you actually could go into the hospital. Hospital, you had to stay outside in these tents. And as you came in, and I was like, wait a minute, they had floated me up there on the floor. He was getting ready to be discharged. So now that I'm back and I'm in the ER, Demetrius he done came back. He in the ER now. Now he's worse. Now we having to hurry up and rush him, but he got to stay out here in this tent because you consider contaminated. They don't want to mix with the patients who really just here for abdominal pain. Demetri, they heard it, so I told the lady, and I'm talking to her about it, and she said, "Should I be scared right now?" And Demetri, she ran in her room and shut the door, and I heard it locked. I heard the key thing, the lock on the door.
Oh, thinking about COVID.
Yeah, yeah, that's what she
Yeah.
was thinking about. And when she did that to me, Demetrius, I felt hard. And you talking about depression, a mental breakdown? That's when it got to me, and I didn't know it. I didn't notice that's what I was going through. That's when I was ready to come home. I couldn't come home. The people who were supposed to pick up my car didn't pick my car up. They took the money. So, Demetrius, can you imagine being in a new state and you stand in a stranger's home, and now this world is fighting the biggest pandemic of its own, and nobody you here to help, and they needing us, and some of them nurses are getting paid $10,000 a week, and here I am, and this lady running from me, and everybody in the store. I'm not safe anywhere. Demetrius had heard it. It went to a mental breakdown. I said all that to say to you all that when you think people are not human and you think that you can't be filled in, I thought that same way. I thought that I was needed. We felt good. You getting on the plane, you essential is the word that they use. But then nobody pointing you. Elder Sent then had people she had her community at that time. Demetri, my cash out kept going off, and it was $10. $10. I'm like, what in the world? I'm on the plane. Where is it? Where is all this coming from? They just let you know how my spiritual leader, what kind of heart she has. She just did it unexpectedly. The people just poured
Awesome.
in, poured in. So when she's getting blessed, I know why she's getting blessed, because she's a giver. And I'm sitting up there on the plane and I'm crying. I remember taking that picture, crying, because it wasn't a point, because it wasn't necessarily the money. It was the thought. And I think that's what people are not realizing, Demetrius, the thought behind it. So when you need to get poured into, when you think you knowing everything, and this person who feeling unworthiness, when you think about feeling suicidal thoughts, those things are real.
Let
And
me ask you
Demetrius,
something. Let
yeah.
me ask you something. When you were in that retreat, what you talking about? Well, you saying that's what was poured into you by going up there. You felt
I'm
what?
the yeah, my first year. That's what I'm saying. I was getting to the point of that when the things that happen. The reason why I want people to look at. You don't have to be a nurse. Don't nothing have to be physically wrong with you for you to go get spiritually poured into to help you be recalibrated. Cause Demetrius, I thought I was still functioning, but I still was dealing with what happened with the pandemic. Some of us still going through what happened at the pandemic. Just like they said, don't you know if somebody died in the emergency room right now, if you in room 5 and something happened and you don't make it, Demetrius, I clean you up. I put that toe tag on you. I escort you to the morgue with security. You get off my regular bed and you get on that cold slate. And if nobody come to pronounce you, if nobody come to get you, you a Jane or Jane or Joe, yeah, Jane Doe. I'm sorry,
Let me ask you something.
a John or
See,
Jane, and you staying there until somebody come. And guess what? I'm not even gonna say on here what happens if nobody claim you. I'm not. I'm gonna leave that to your imagination and let you look it up. What really happened to you if nobody claims you? So I want y'all to think about that. Not just praying for nurses, praying for a lot of people, because this COVID thing, it sent a lot of people to a mental distress. So when you wonder what all happening, because some people don't believe in God, don't believe in being poured into. They keep citing higher power, but who is your higher power, and who are you being plugged into? Who are you letting pour into you? Go ahead, Demetrius.
no, no. I was gonna say you went back. You say earlier about you ran scrub and people being mean to people. When I
Yeah.
seen people in scrub, first thing I thought they saving lives at the time of the COVID. And maybe because I know you my wife and using her, so I looked at people. I didn't see them like I was scared of them. Man, they saving lives. They putting their life on the line to help people. So I didn't want to say that. Hey, I want to thank everybody who went through that era. I appreciate you with the stuff
Yeah.
you did. I didn't get caught many sick, but I know from family members y'all helped, and I thank y'all for what y'all did. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, but part of you was cautious though. You remember when you said, "And to go ahead and get dressed before you come into the room," or if I had a little sniffle, you remember putting my food at the door.
Yeah,
You like,
that's right.
but we was taking precautions. So again, when you come home, but think about it, Demetrius, if I stay isolated, don't nobody didn't nobody want to get that, but some of us had to go in there and touch your family members. But what if everybody was running scared, Demetrius? Some of your family members wouldn't be here because we did put our life on the line. I heard somebody ask me, they was like, Angie, didn't you sign up for that? Nursing is a job, just like anything else. You can get burnt out from it and you can get tired.
How the with the retreat? Cause I
was
want
a
the people that
way
trade. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
was a way to be poured into. So that's what I'm saying, that your story might not be my story. I shared that because some people need to hear, Demetrius, everything don't have to be relationship before you
yeah,
go seek spiritual guidance. Everything don't have to be suicidal before you
that's
seek
good.
you
I like
seek
that.
spiritual guidance. Everything don't have to be financial before you go and look at spiritual guidance. Sometimes you can just wake up and you just not in that mood today. Sometimes you wake up and you on the wrong side of the bed and like, wait a minute, you get that wrong text. Sometimes that means you just waking up. Instead of us showing gratitude, saying thank you God, and I'm guilty. I go back to last night problem. I went to bed with this. I woke up with this, and I was on it. But going to the retreat, I got my prayer board here, and I just want to show you, those of you, if you can see it. Is it showing, Demetrius?
No, no, Hunter Bunch ain't showing. You got to move it. Look at it.
Uh oh.
Let's see what you got
All
left.
right.
Okay, there you go. I
Yeah.
mean, hold on. Back up a little more. Cause the thing, it's showing part
Um.
of it.
But, okay, because we got this filter on, because we got the filter on, it's not like showing all the prayer board, but y'all
It's showing
follow.
half of it.
Y'all follow me on social media, y'all can see it. But anyway, you have little prayers here that you can put in. We have
It's,
stickers, affirmation stickers that you have. I got sitting expectations for what my prayers are, little cards, to reassure what God is saying. And you see anchor. Oh,
no, okay, they can't see that. It's
oh,
showing that. I hate they doing that.
yeah,
Blocking you.
yeah.
That fit the.
Anyway,
They got the idea, Hunter
yeah, they
Bunch.
got it. It's saying anchor in the Lord. So anyway, you seeing here. Well, like I said, see, the devil don't want me to show it because that's why he.
Yeah, devil trying to stop it. Not today, devil.
Yeah. But anyway, this is what a prayer board is. And again, if those of you would like to have your own prayer board or start your prayer board, I highly suggest you to go to Etsy. Go to Etsy or go to Pinterest. And so that way you can get the feel of what you need to put on your prayer board. Mine's is not as fancy as some of the other ladies, but that you do have arts and craft there. We made like a treasure box with prayers in there. So I want to give you a few because some of you might not have scriptures. And what scriptures are is your sword. That when something come, and just like I was saying about that pandemic, I should have tapped into my sword. When that lady ran in the room from me and I had my mental break, I should have ran in my room and Demetrius, I should have immediately started pleading the God and the help. But again, I kind of dwelled in my feelings and then I was ready to go. Um, it says, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask according to his will, he will hear us. That's First John 5:14. And then it says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans for you to hope and a future. That's Jeremiah 29:11. Then I have, the Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. That is Psalms 23:1. And I want you to remember that. Put one of these scriptures on your songs, on your heart of meditation, and just pick out one. You don't have to recite the whole book. Just pick out you one sword, which is a scripture, at a time to fight your battle. And you will see, the Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. So in case you feel like you lonely or going through, Psalms 23:1, and that is where I'm closing it. So Demetrius, you have anything?
No, I just want, back again. I'm going to the men's again. Let your wife go, man. I mean, I don't know where you from, what state you from, but your wife going. Long you know your wife, you know her, you trust her. Let her go to cause she gonna bring it back to you. Like she talking right now, she bring these scriptures back to me. When we talk about them, it make me a better person.
Yeah.
Cause I need all I can get. My wife been in the church for years. I just reached this. I ain't gonna lie. I just started getting in the church like the last 8 years of my life, 7 years. It took some bad to happen to me, make me get there, but I'm there. So I'm glad I'm there and I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm behind a lot of people ahead of me, but I'm learning and I'm taking it serious. So I'm telling y'all, man, let your wife go. I had a man have a spiritual trip. Y'all listen to this podcast. Some men got some that you think it'd be interesting for me to go. Let me know. Cause I want a better version of me.
Let me interject. Men, we just calling him for anything now. I have to the spirit of discernment. So you know, no Brazil trips. And don't come camouflaging it by God, cause he's not going. He already know that destination will not happen, cause his wife done heard enough stuff about some Brazil. But all in reality though, if those of you, if you or your husband or you go to a church that does have men retreats, that is seriously
On Zoom, I get on
foundational.
Zoom,
Oh
online.
yeah,
I do
to
all that.
get us stronger, because Demetrius and I know that to get over where we come from and what we did to each other, it had to be nothing but God. And and one thing I could tell the ladies who's in waiting, I can tell you that if God want you to have that man, even if he with somebody else right now, God will shift the things around. And in the word, it said those who last, God will turn that line around, and baby, you will be first. And if you don't believe in, just all you have to do is just go spend some time with God. And I tell everybody, I was in California. Demetrius called, and we said, he tried to play hard. Oh, I wasn't calling to get back with you, baby. You called and you said, I'm coming to California, and I'm coming to get my wife. Is that it, Demetrius? That's yes or no? Did you say that?
That is correct.
I thought you were gonna
That
try to fight it.
Nah, I ain't gonna fight it because I did say that, and when I say that, you say I've been waiting on you to say that. I know.
I don't know. Listen. Wait a minute. Let me do my glasses. But
Hey,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I just
Uh,
but no, I'm gonna ask you. I'll ask you when y'all was in the retreat. Like, how deep did y'all get? Like for the Bibles and like Bibles, or did y'all get up and vent like talk? I mean, I'm just giving the
yeah.
people inside, people here and go, they can get an idea. Just give them the
Okay.
inside. I mean, you can't give so much. Just give them a little bit now.
Yeah. I can't give so much.
Everybody wants you. Everybody wants you to give them everything. Now.
No. No.
They got
No.
to
I'm
come
not
and see
gonna
this
get.
stuff.
I'm not gonna give them everything, but because listen, she called it coming on the mountaintop. That when you going up this mountain, you're not gonna come back the same. So think
Right.
about the journey of going on the mountaintop. Think about the tools you need to be able to climb that mountaintop. So the mountaintop in the physical is in Tennessee, but the spiritual warfare that you're going through, whether it's the mental, whether it's the relationship, whether it's finance, whether it's the kids, whether it's the job, whether it's your health, we all fighting some mountaintops. And so this particular elder comes out and she go ahead and we have church, and she's talking about the story of Noah. And so when she was talking about Noah building the ark, but it was funny to me. And when I'm saying funny, I'm talking about, kind of leaped in my stomach. Why would God tell Noah to go and build an ark and then tell him to take two of everything, dirty and clean? Now, why would he want something dirty on the same boat of clean? Why is that? And I'm gonna leave that to y'all because I don't know the answer to it. But even when I said something to the elder, she said, you got work to do. So that means she wasn't gonna give me the answer to it, but I can come back to her and after I done researched it, because she is she's an elder that believes in you finding the word for yourself, and then y'all can go ahead and talk about it. But she's not gonna give you all the answers. We did some word scrambles, and it was like, what did let me say, I think it was Jonah. What did like I said, I'm trying to remember some of them, but even on they had like trivia, like when God told the disciples, He'll make them what, and I'm thinking like, what did He say? And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, and it wasn't coming to me quick enough. But you ought to seen the people jumping up. And again, those people studying the word. And you thinking, oh, God told the men He'll make them fishermen. He'll make them fishermen of men. So again, you go to the word. But as He's talking about Noah, and she goes on to, it was worth the wait. Because everybody talking about in chapter 7 of what was going on in Noah with Noah, but nobody's talking about chapter 8, that if you make it through, Demetrius being you, we didn't make it through. When we hit trials and tribulation, we throw it in the towel. We let
That's
go of the
right.
marriage. We
Yeah,
didn't fight for our son. We threw the towel in.
that's right.
But she's saying now that we did that, so we stopped. We didn't make it to chapter 8. But if we stay on the journey with God and we make it to chapter 8, then that's when we will know it was worth the wait. Everything we went through, all the hell, all the breakups, all the backbiting, all the talking, all the mispromotions, all the jobs, all the bankruptcies, all the insufficient funds, all the rejections, all the friends that's supposed to be with you, all the people who said they're gonna call you back never called you back, all the health issues, everything that you ever wanted, Demetrius, that you stopped because you gave up. You never got to chapter 8. But if they stay on the journey, so they can get to their chapter 8. So you all, I'm telling you, my eldest, thebone.com. When I say I love the life, I really love the life. And I have this, me and her always, we always tease each other about a bumblebee. And so when I seen this in Hobby Lobby, I went ahead and got one to put on my prayer board because bees were significant. You know, in the Bible it says it got land that you can feast off milk and honey. How do you think the honey got there? It had to be some bees. People, they're scared of bees, you know, they allergic to them. But bees, some bees are significant. So I want you all to read that in it and being able to let that bless your soul. So, Demetri, you have anything else?
Honey Bunch, you're gonna do a good job.
Yes.
And hey, ladies, I hope y'all listen to her.
Yes.
And maybe next year y'all can go. And men, maybe hey, y'all got one. Let me know I can go. Yeah, but it got to be the right thing. But
Tell them
my
Honey Bunch,
wife,
boom, Honey Bunch done signed, sealed, and delivered.
yeah, 100 let me go anywhere now. So you know, I
No,
would treat my
listen,
be
hey, I lost my marriage the first time being naive and not paying attention. You have to pay attention. And I know not every marriage is when they say imperfect, but you make it perfect. And when you go over these trials and tribulations, and I'm telling you, you know the good thing about life, that when you do find somebody who transparent with you to be able to share what their shortcomings are. I think Demetrius and I, we do a good job. Sometimes we overly share, and I was like, oh, I didn't mean to say that on the podcast. But how are you really gonna help heal and nurture and move the needle forward for the next Angie or Demetrius that's coming? That if you really trying to move the needle forward, then you have to be able to put yourself in a situation and be vulnerable. That you have to be teachable. You know, that's what my retreat leader, I was assigned to Sister Cherie out of McCormick. And she got up and, you know, she was teaching about, you know, breaking relationships up and talking about friendships. But Demetrius, when do you know it's time to cut those relationships off? You being friends with them forever. But Demetrius, ain't there's no growth there. You don't have to answer, but I'm just giving you some of the things
oh,
that
I
we
can
talk
answer
about.
for you.
I'm just giving you some of the things when you saying, Andrew, what are y'all talking about and doing? I'm telling you that we have activities and we break off into groups to make them look intimate, set in groups, and people are sharing, and you looking at and you thinking it's nobody but me. But no, when Sister Joanne or James or Sue or Sally get up and they telling their story, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking that only I was dealing with it, and you know you're ashamed, but then you have to realize, wait till you if you hold on, get to your chapter 8. So you all, Demetri, you got something else before we close
No,
it out?
ma'am. I'm gonna let you close it out. You did a good job. And women, get in there this year if you can.
All right, you all. This is again a shout out to the Women of Worth Global Ministry. It's on Facebook. And I highly suggest you to tap in if you really want to be poured into and you really trying to get yourself back where you need to be. I believe in my heart of hearts that God placed us on here for us not to be selfish. He don't want us gatekeeping, even though I know she is sweet to me. I know God wouldn't want me to just be selfish and say, let me keep Elder to myself, because she does have some amazing things going down. And if you, those of you, if you in South Carolina, she does have services on Monday. And I told her that I'm willing to drive down because I really want to hear her. And I really am like, you know, want more. And if I want more, and she don't allow recordings because, again, she is a stickler and strict about not recording and being, not letting go and have his time, and because it's not for a show. And you all, when you have somebody like that, that mean they don't care. They don't do it for the clicks, and they don't do it for the money. They do it because they really truly a vessel of God, and they trust the assignment that God then laid upon their life, because they got other people they holding accountable. So again, I hope you have been blessed by this episode from Demetrius and I, and being able to tap back in to Demetrius. And Demetrius, do you want to tell them a little bit about Coming Clean as we closing?
Yeah, Come Clean Sunday. Like I tell you, I've been been content up. It's gonna be coming out on Sunday nights. But like I say, I got a couple more. I need to get a couple more episodes that I'm on. I want a good 6 month to 12 month run when I unleash it. So it's called Come Clean Sunday. People, tell them some of the lowest point, highest point, dirtiest point, they're gonna come out. So be ready for it. Honey Bunch, and give them the number and tell them how to pick clean it down.
Okay. The text number is 833-370-16 833-370-1608. I'm sorry, I got tongue tied. And put clean in the comment. And again, you all, thank y'all very much for rocking with us. This has been the Lee Life Experience Podcast.
Hi everyone, I hope you have enjoyed the episode so far. You are here with the Lee Life Experiences. And remember, if you want to get your topics discussed or get our opinion or our perspective, join us text us at 833-370-1608 and put relationships in the comment.